you can breathe. Because if you're hunched over, you have that hunched over sound. Unless it's a sound that you
sound you want. Yeah.
So get up, get flexible, stretch. And then after that, it's a lot of showing them the 4 things in any voice, any character voice. There's 4 elements in any impression or character voice.
They are
just 4. And they are, I think I'm giving away a lot of my secrets, but for you, it's fine. So basically there is pitch. So that's how high or how low the voice is. Okay. There is accent, which is an easy one. That's just, like Irish accent, German accent, Indian accent. There is rhythm. And there is noise. So basically put those 4 things together in any combination, you have, a voice. And like I said, the same thing with impression. So let's say Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart is a low pitch. Mm-hmm. He's got kind of a New York accent, I think. It's kind of a very hard accent to really narrow down. And then he stutters and he kind of speaks a little slow. And then there's this kind of almost like an old man chewing on his tongue sound. Okay, I'll give you an hold it right there. No. What you're saying is you put these 4 things together. You can do any voices. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, I forget the name, but I know who the character is. I forget the name, but I know who that is from the Christmas movie back in the day.
Clarence.
Yeah.
I grew up on black and white TV and old movies, and he was one of the first impressions that I really did. But he's a prime example of those 4 elements playing together. And all of my voices have these same things, maybe in varying degrees. Maybe there's not as much noise, or maybe the rhythms are the same, but those are the 4 basic elements. And pretty much anyone can do a voice that's not of their own. And when you can get them to do one of their favorite voices that isn't their own, and you get them to break it down. Yeah. And then you go, okay, what's another voice, that you do every now and then, whether it's...
And I want to repeat what you said. Anyone can do a voice.
Right. Anyone can do a voice. It may not sound as good as someone else. Like a lot of the voices...
It's a Wonderful Life. Michael just came up with the movie. Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
A lot of the voices that I do don't sound all that much like me. They're either really, really high pitched and nasally, which is hard to imagine this voice any further, or they're really, really low. I do a lot of work where I'm doing like really, really low, like big dumb guys and stuff like that. And so if someone who sounds naturally like the way I do can bring his pitch down to, that kind of like ogre or dwarf voice, it really isn't that hard. Okay. A lot of people are just afraid to make it.
Do you teach people how to do that?
Yes. There are some people who I don't really feel get it.
Okay.
That it takes longer to really show them.
Let's see what I want to do. And the reason why I'm asking you about the coaching, because what was it? 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I was yelling at you about why the freak aren't you coaching? Yeah. I think we had a couple of conversations a couple months ago. Dude, what are you doing? So what I want to do here is expose people to what it is that you're doing. And I need you to tell us how they can get in contact with you as we close here.
Right.
So they can pick up on the things that you're an expert coaching at.
Well, as far as contact, the email that I've been using is FunnyGuyTimmy@gmail.com.
FunnyGuyTimmy.
FunnyGuyTimmy@gmail.com. I will eventually put together a whole Facebook page, Twitter, and email dedicated to coaching, because you have to separate everything. You have to categorize your stuff.
I think I know a little bit about that, but
if you put everything through one email, you're just going to get bogged down. I have an acting email, I have a voice acting email, stand-up comedy email. I have the Funny Guy Timmy, which is mostly for fans, but it's basically become more or less the coaching one. But that's the one to contact me through as of current.
Okay.
So that's the easiest way. And after that, it's really there's also scripts that I'll hand out. There's also a voiceover character 101 sheet that I have, which there's a few people who I've tried this on. Basically, it's going to be a sheet that it's got the dialogue, and that's it. You're going to read the dialogue. And then after that, it's going to have a character description. So now you're going to read the same dialogue again with the new character description. Then after that, actually, no. Before that, it's the character's name. So you get a little bit of information at a time. Then it's the character description. And then after that, you're going to get a picture of the character. And then after that, you're going to get the scenario, what's going on. And every time you read the dialogue, read the line, you're supposed to change the voice based on the new information. And it's kind of every time you do an audition or do a character, you're going to get varying degrees of information. Sometimes you're just going to get a name. Sometimes you're just going to get a name and description. Sometimes you're just going to get a description, no name. And sometimes you are going to get the full thing with the picture and everything. But you have to be able to come up with a voice that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're back now. I have no clue.
You were just like, and then gone. And then I was like, Earl?
Yeah, look, and now I'm using a completely different camera than I was using before. It's like, but oh my gosh, okay. But there was a question that came through that I think was kind of important. Everybody's saying, we lost Earl. It was like,
Earl, no!
But there was a question that came through. Let me just go scroll back through here.
Yeah,
did I lose the question? I hope I didn't lose the question because it was like a good one. Tom says he saw the plans you were talking about. Okay, here it is. Question came in from Michael. Do you feel the notion? Can you see the question?
I can see it.
Okay, yeah. So there's the question. I think he meant voice conversational as opposed to whatever else is there. But is that demand changing? Do you feel or?
As far as like the what was it again? As far as the young guy.
As far as the every man, guy, gal next door voice, is that being overstated? Is that demand changing now?
I think I don't think that all the clients and everyone in the industry understands what that voice is, nor do I think all the voice actors know what that voice is. But basically we've lost him again.
No, I'm back.
But basically the voice, I was just going to keep going. But basically, the idea is they want it to sound like someone who's just right there beside you, or a friend talking across the table. That's the basic idea. Now, a lot of voices nowadays, when they're looking for that kind of guy next door, young guy next door, they're basically looking for no accent, no discernible regional accent, someone who can basically be pitched across the table. And they're looking for someone that's believable and not broadcasty. It doesn't sound like they're selling you something. It doesn't sound like they're pitching an idea. It just sounds like someone sharing information. Now, when I talk to a lot of clients, they tell me, just read it naturally. Now, this happens to me. They're like, just read it naturally. Just read it how you naturally would. And I'm very high energy. I'm a very active, high energy guy. And so I read it how I would. And they're like, no, not like a cartoon. Read it like a normal person. They're like, don't do a character. I was like, I wasn't doing a character. That's
how I talk.
Yeah. And they're like, talk how you talk to friends. I was like, that's exactly how I talk to friends. And so from their description of what they would say, I'm like, oh, you mean boring. And so I'll do it kind of like this with my arms not moving, and I'll just read like that. And they're like, perfect. Got it. So I don't really think I have a real good perspective of that particular area.
Okay.
I do know some people who nail that kind of young guy commercial read. But again, I don't do a lot of commercial. And so normally the stuff that I do is character based.
Okay. So once again, if you guys want to reach out with Tim, I think he's a great guy for you to reach out to. FunnyGuyTimmy@gmail.com. That's the address. Make sure you go catch him right there. Tim, I want to thank you for being on.
Thank you. It was fun.
Even through all the technical difficulties here in the last 5 minutes,
It was all good.
that we've been able.
The thing just saw me rambling. It was like, oh, he's going to keep doing this forever. Enough. Geez. It's like end for the love of God.
Oh man. Well, thanks, Tim, for being here. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Take care, guys.